Are we lagging? Are we good? Is it lagging? Do we have lag? There was one of my favorite clips is a clip where I'm like, what am I supposed to do about the lag? And I'm like lagging and like it's cutting all over. That's like one of my favorite clips of mine. Somebody's probably got the clip. It's like, what am I supposed to do about the lag? But it's like something like that. Yeah. Are we good here? Can we do a goddamn show today? How many blind bags are you buying of Mark Brooks' new Monster and the Wolf series? What are you talking about, dude? I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know about that series. I don't know about blind boxes. What a crazy specific question to begin the day with. I don't have that answer for you. I know who Mark Brooks is, yeah. Yeah. Why you look buff? I thought you were torta shaped. What the fuck is a torta, bro? What is going on? What is going on in this goddamn world? What's going on in this goddamn chat? What's going on in the goddamn internet? What the fuck? The fuck is happening? What happened to Marvel? Oh, now I got the fucking error message. Great. You need to change the video resolution. I did change the video resolution, and then it started glitching. Everybody liked the goddamn video. If we don't get to 200 likes in the next 3 seconds, is there a little echo? You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. Stick in the mud. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Is there a little echo? About to be a lot of echo. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Are we lagging? Are we good? Are we good here? I come in and Josh is having a meltdown already. Yeah, no, I mean, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a big old meltdown today. Today is the meltdown. Rossi says, whatever is happening is Cool Bear's fault. 100% Cool Bear. You motherfucker. It's on you. Anyways, what did you guys do this weekend, man? Did you guys have a good weekend? Did you guys have a good weekend? Can I tell you just something real quick here? You know what you guys didn't do this weekend? You didn't go see Fantastic Four, okay? I can tell. Because of the goddamn box office. What the fuck? Do you know I'm going to have to pay Brandon Davis $500 now? Do you realize that? Dude, you did this to me. Oh, I did. Yeah, no, you didn't. Prove it. Prove it. I couldn't. I'm broke. Okay. Den of Blame. Yeah. Cap, I went twice. What, this weekend? My man. You gonna go some more? Look, technically, I know, look, in all seriousness, it's probably like an 80-90% chance now that I am going to have to pay Brandon Davis. But there is still a chance. I'm gonna be honest with you. There is still a chance. There's math out there. There's some science. And there's some math out there that, like, if Superman, like, if we all get out there, okay, it's going to take a group effort. Chat, listen to me. If we all get out there and we find a bunch of people over the next couple of weekends that are going to see Superman, and we, like, talk them out of it, and we're like, hey, listen, fuck that. You know what I mean? Am I right? If that happens, there is still a chance that Fantastic Four makes more money than Superman. It's a long shot, okay? I'm going to be honest. I'm probably going to have to pay Brandon Davis $500 fucking. But I have found some miracle math out there that's like, hey, if a miracle happens, which we could make that miracle happen together, chat. That's what it is. Like, we could do this, and we could do this together. What do you guys think? Anybody? Anybody? We talking miracles? Yeah, we're talking fucking miracles! Because that's what I'm going to need is a goddamn miracle! You know what? In all seriousness, Brandon's a nice guy. You know what I mean? And it's not going to be that much sweat off my back to pay him, but it is... I think what really fucking sucks is the fact that we're here. You know what I mean? Now, look, we're going to get into it today. We're going to break it all down. We're going to talk about all the ins and the outs. I actually have like 6 pages of notes because I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't stop, trying to make sense of it and explain everything. But let me just ask you guys this. Like, let's just start here, I guess. Did you guys, like, get it out of your system over the weekend? You know, I saw, and I'm sure you probably saw as well, on Saturday when the numbers started to come in, and really, I think even after Friday's numbers, because Friday had, like, an 80% drop, and then that got spread around the internet like wildfire, and a bunch of people are like, oh, it dropped off 80%. That's fucking crazy. That's not what happened, but it's out there like that. I saw a lot of people basically go, oh, dude, it's over. Marvel's cooked. This, that, second, and the third. Did you guys see that as well? And did you get it out of your system? Like, did you? Because I kind of had a moment like Saturday where I sort of melted down. I think I tweeted like 8 different times, kind of shitting on Marvel and like, all these different things. And then I kind of calmed down a little bit, and I'm feeling a little bit better about it today. Did you guys have that? Did you have that same experience? Like over the weekend, did you guys have that experience? Like, were you like, oh, we're fucked, but then you're feeling a little bit better, or are you still in the oh, it's over kind of a phase? Moist Critical even did a video over the weekend. Is Marvel cooked? Yeah. I was thinking about watching it on stream actually. Yeah. Just me? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Just me? Nah, Spider-Man looks peak. It does look peak, yeah. It's a normal drop for Marvel. I mean, debatable. We'll get into the details, but I get you. And now they have no competition this whole month. Yeah, but look, we'll see how it all shakes out. This is just the latest data point, but it's a really important data point, and it's a really impactful data point. So it's like, it's hard to look at these numbers and think, like, technically the only thing that's giving even me a chance here is Superman's actually underperforming as well. Now, it's performing better than Fantastic Four by almost every metric you can look at except international. But even then, it's not like Fantastic Four is crushing international. So we'll see. But yeah. Interesting. Okay, let's get into some of these chats, and also I apologize if I missed some of your stuff in the other stream, which I should probably go delete that stream. Actually, let me go do that real quick, so people don't get confused. Let's delete that. Whoa, it was 333. Isn't that wild? It was 3 minutes 33 seconds. Wow, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. I tell you what, that's crazy right there. Okay, let's catch up on some of these chats here. Locationary says, Fantastic Four, more like Fantastic Floor. Ha! Oh, ha! Good one. Dirty Nap says, with 53 months, man, Fantastic Four was awesome, and I'm really surprised that it isn't performing well. Take my money, Nerd Avengers for life. Yeah, it is a little bittersweet, right? The fact that it's not doing better, and the fact that I think most fans really liked it. Like I really like it, like really like it. But yeah, I mean, I think the data's just there, man. It's underperforming. I think there's no way around it. It's underperforming. But like I said, we got a lot to get into. We're gonna speculate all about it. Mo from the Foe, what up, brother? Says, good morning, Nerd Avengers. Still haven't seen Superman, but I loved F4. Good year for the superhero genre. Love, brother. Hope all is well. Yeah, thanks, man. So I'll say this too. I talked about it a little on Twitter, and I talked about it on Discord a little bit as well. So my Shiba Inu Leia is going in for surgery today. So if you guys could give some positive vibes, send some prayers out for Leia. I mean, she should be okay. It's hard though. It's rough, man. She's in kind of rough shape. She has like internal infections. So, you know, prayers up, knock on wood. Hopefully everything goes well. Kind of like mentally preparing for the worst, hoping for the best. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so she's going in for surgery today. Kind of tough, man. Hug your pets, man. You never know. And it's just one of those things like there's nothing we could have done. This just randomly happens to dogs. And it sucks, man. It sucks. It's unfortunate. But yeah, so you know, we're dealing with that. But honestly, happy to be here and happy to be working just to keep my mind off of it. You know what I mean? So we're gonna carry on, man. You know, the show must go on. K Lion the Dawn says, I feel like we have to be more realistic with box office predictions post COVID. It's crazy that making $500 million is a flop nowadays. Well, you know, that's a part of the discussion for sure. And I think a lot of folks, like, there's no way around the reality that the industry is changing. And I think that's fair. But there are reasons that Marvel in particular is being looked at here. Because, like, look, again, we don't have the final numbers for both movies, but it really seems like Superman and Fantastic Four are right in the same ballpark. Superman might make as much as 40 million more, as little as 10 million more. It could technically still fizzle out, and Fantastic Four could get to 6, and it could miss 6. But in all likelihood, right, it seems like Superman's going to win. The reality of that is, though, they're all underperforming. Superman gets a little bit of a pass because of how bad DC has been, and also because of the potential future, right? Like, you're building, so it's a different vibe. Marvel does not have that benefit. Everything that's happened in Marvel is sort of juxtaposed against their success and when they were at their height. So it's always going to be a fall off. So like what's happening to Marvel right now is they're like a victim of their success in a way, of where they were at, right, in pop culture. But I think what you're saying is fair. I mean, chat, what do you think about that? Because I'm fascinated by this conversation. Do you think we need to dial back the expectations? Or, like, is it still $1 billion? Because for me, I think about Zelda. You know, I think about eventually the Warhammer stuff. I think about any big movie that's out there. I still think you want it to get to $1 billion. Do you know what I mean? Like, I still think you should be aiming at $1 billion. But I do understand that things have changed. It seems like a lot of you think it's changed and we need to adjust our feelings. Smack Daddy Slab says, I love DC and Marvel and haven't seen either movies yet. Theaters are struggling. Yeah, no doubt about it, man. The theaters are definitely struggling. And the box office in general is way down for sure. The industry's in flux. But yeah, appreciate you, man. Zach Tech says, did you see the Luis tweet? I mean, I have one of the Luis tweets pulled up. Are you talking about the one where he says, that's it? It faces one of the biggest drop-offs in MCU history. Is that the one? Because I have it pulled up. We're going to go over it in just a moment. Tim O'Brien with a $20 holla. Hey, man, I really appreciate that. That is generous. Thank you. Says, hope Leia is doing well, brother. I was praying for her and you and the fam this morning. Much love. Yeah. Nerd Vengers for life. Ranch Vengers for life. What's the D? Late Vengers for life. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. So kind. Thank you, man. Elvin Elijah says, how often do you have to correct Chat GPT's script responses to your questions because it isn't as nerdy as you? Well, I mean, look, all of these, it's funny. I could give you like a really long answer here. Chat GPT is a wild one because there's different versions of the model. but also the model acts differently depending on day, time, season. So, like, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but there were some people running some tests that said Chat GPT was lazy during the holiday break. And they did all this like cross-referencing to explain it, but it's like, I don't know if it's like because it's trying to emulate humans, and then it's just like, oh, humans are lazy during the winter time or what. But yeah, Chat GPT is a weird one. You have to always double and triple check this thing, man. Like, sometimes it'll source info, give you a statistic, and then if you click through, the source doesn't even match what it's saying. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I would say to that. Let's see here. Lou says the only person you can blame is Marvel for putting out mediocre shows and movies on a consistent basis filled with crap writing and modern slop. Yeah, I mean, look, Marvel made this bed. I'm not going to argue against that. Marvel has absolutely made this bed. I do think the budget conversation is legit. Like, I think that's a fair combo to have. But also, absolutely, Marvel cooked this bird, man. They're the one that cooked the bird. Patrick says, I wonder if studios will ever add revenue from theater rental to box office totals. As someone with small kids, that is how I watch most new movies. They're probably not going to add it to the box office, but they do seem to be adding that number, at least to the news. So I forget, I think it was maybe Thunderbolts. They came out and said how much it made on digital or whatever. So they're going to keep probably doing that. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? I wonder, guys, I do wonder, and there's a lot we have to get into today, right? And my brain's starting a little slow, so I apologize. But I have been thinking a lot just about like Marvel, you know, the comic book thing. And I just wonder how you guys are feeling about this. Like, do you think Marvel needs drastic change? Like, do you think it might be time for the Hat Man to step aside? You know, we're gonna get into all these combos here, man. But I don't know. I mean, I think it is pretty undeniable. Like, what's happening right now is crazy because I think Marvel has been treated kind of unfairly over the past couple of years, and I think it's even being treated unfairly in this moment. Okay, but it is happening. Like, we kind of can't deny that it's happening, right? So there's like this idea of, oh, well, this isn't fair, or this, that, second, and the third. It kind of doesn't matter whether or not it's fair. It matters what is happening. Do you know what I mean? And what is happening right now really feels bad. Like, it really feels bad. And I don't even think, like, you look at these numbers, I don't even think this movie is necessarily dropping the way that it was first reported. But because it is not like performing at the level of Superman or doing better, there's just so many people ready to be negative about Marvel, right? And unfortunately, it's really hard to decouple how much of that is actually earned or deserved from how much of it is warranted and is just a result of a lack of quality over the past couple of years. Because like, branding is really funny, right? Like, let me ask you guys this. This is the main question I want to ask. Throw a 1 into the chat if you personally feel like pretty much everybody is being too harsh on Marvel, right? If you personally feel as though people, whether it's critics, the internet, social media, you know, people in this chat, whatever, right? If you think people are being unfair and harsh to Marvel, throw a 1 into the chat. I'm just curious. So there's a lot of 1s going into the chat. Not everybody, but there's a lot of 1s. Okay. here's the thing. This is actually what brand is. Okay? So, we talk about brand all the time, or like maybe you've heard some people say within the midst of this exact thing, but talking about Marvel in general, that Marvel has brand damage, right? You've heard of this, right? They say this. So what we're literally describing here, which is a bunch of you think people are going way too harsh on Marvel. A bunch of you do not think that, but a bunch of you do think that. The reality is how people are treating Marvel is its brand. Like, the brand is not, oh, they're actually good and people are treating them badly. No. What brand is the feeling or the relationship that a consumer has to a product, service, or company. That's what a brand is. So the Marvel brand, the brand itself, if you can acknowledge, if you can look around as a Marvel fan, because I think this is difficult for Marvel fans specifically to try to cope with, but if you can acknowledge that from your perspective, everybody's being way too harsh on Marvel, what you have to understand is you're actually wrong, and what they're doing is the brand relationship. Like, I don't know if that's making sense, but it's like this. Instead of thinking to yourself, oh, everybody's being really, really harsh on Marvel, instead you should understand Marvel's brand is so damaged that everybody's being too harsh on Marvel. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying there? I think if you can understand this concept, you will get what is happening. And it does kind of suck. Like, there's no way around it, especially if you're a big fan. Like, there's no way around it. It's bad. Does not compute. It should compute. Anybody else having a problem with this? Really? You guys don't get it? Do you guys really not understand it? You're saying they're attracting the harshness. Well, no, not necessarily. What I'm saying is the harshness is the brand identity. Like, your brand is not what you want it to be. Your brand is how people feel about your company, product, or service. So, like, a bunch of us are hardcore fans. We love this movie, Fantastic Four. We probably, a lot of us love Thunderbolts. We're excited for Spider-Man. We're excited for all this sort of stuff. We were bummed that it's not performing the way that we wanted to. And from our perspective, a lot of us fans feel as though people are being really, really unfair. We are fanboys. And even some of us are mad and like sick of it and a little exhausted. But we do not represent, like, we're basically going to be the last ones to leave the ship. Okay? What you have to understand is the reason so many people have left the ship is because they have created that brand identity. Does that make sense, guys? All right, let me fly through a couple of these other chats, and then we'll get into some details here, okay? This here, Grandmaster Choda says, BD told me you could hang Dong instead of paying him 500. Do it for the financials. Do it for the boys. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Let's do that. Bianca, thank you for a gifted membership. I hope you're doing well. Rossi says, I downloaded the Superman theme 2025 this weekend, and I was rocking it out in the car. Still not as good as the Pink Pony Club. Prayers for Leia. What the hell is a Pink Pony Club? Appreciate you, man. Thank you. C-Dub says, I think F4 would have benefited from an October release in order to have breathing room from Thunderbolts and Superman. I see this take a lot, guys, and I understand the take. I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. Like, there's plenty of evidence to suggest over the past couple of years that if people are really motivated to see a film, they're going to go. Like, this overlap competition thing, it exists, but it doesn't supersede, like, true actual interest. Barbenheimer is a great example. Both those movies basically make $1 billion. How can two movies released in the same fucking weekend make $1 billion? I mean, I guess there's counter programming, you could argue, right? But at the same time, there's plenty of evidence over the past couple of years to show that even overlapping interests can perform well in the same time period if there's genuine interest. Like, I think a lot of people are just not seeing what is happening here. And what is happening here is it's just a simple decline in the Marvel brand. Like, that is so obviously what is happening. It's not even debatable. That is what is happening. You know what I mean? And by the way, too, I'm not that shocked by it. I mean, I'm a little bit shocked by the Fantastic Four numbers just because I love the movie. I think it's really good. But am I shocked that, like, no, you know what was really shocking was Daredevil Born Again. After Daredevil Born Again's numbers, nothing shocks me, dude. Like, nothing shocks me after Daredevil Born Again. That was the most embarrassing, ridiculous lack of numbers I've ever seen for Marvel. So, I'm not that shocked. But anyway, just boarded a flight to St. Paul, Minnesota, your old stomping grounds, right? Anyway, happy birthday, Josh. Nerd Avengers for life. Yeah, but I lived mostly on the Minneapolis side. But yeah, I lived in the Twin Cities for several years. Very cool cities, man. Very cool. Cool people out there. Zacatech says, follow-up one for Louise, saying 525-70 range for Fantastic Four. Yeah, that's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. If it super overperforms in the next couple of weeks and Superman super underperforms, they're actually going to be very close, though. Again, I've looked at the maths. There is technically a chance Superman does not get to 600. There is technically a chance that Fantastic Four does get to 600. Okay? Come on, guys. What I'm saying to you is you got to get out there and see Fantastic Four. God damn it. Mav says, in my opinion, without a public acknowledgement of missteps and course corrections, I don't think fans will return. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say, man. I don't know if apologizing would actually make that big of a difference. Sometimes, like, we've seen examples where it seems like it does, right? And it seems like holding the L, having great communication with you know, your community, your consumers or whatever, has been positive for certain brands, for sure. We've also seen examples where that doesn't actually work. So it's hard for me to just say, like, yeah, blanketed, yes. Locationary says the recent films just have no hype for normies. Yeah, you might be right, brother. Obi-Wan First Avenger says, your show is the best part of my day. Keep up the great work. Or I said good work, but happy to see the Marvel movies at least getting better. That's 2 great movies in a row. Nerd Ventures for life. Thanks, Josh. Hey, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for the 10 spot. Really appreciate the support. Mav says, also, Marvel marketing sucks. Get creative. Yeah, you might be right on that one, too. Guys, what do you think? Do you think Marvel's marketing sucks? Shalami Lena with a $20 holla, man. That is generous. Says, I don't think people are being harsh on Marvel. I think people like myself are just sick and tired of Marvel trying to please a certain group of people and ignore the fans that got them there in the first place. Yeah, I mean, there's probably some truth to that. Here's what's difficult for me, though. Specifically with Fantastic Four, a lot of the anti-Disney crowd, and I'm talking about, like, you know, Nerderotic, Critical Drinker, a bunch of people within that sphere actually liked and recommended Fantastic Four. So it's a little difficult for me to, like, it's hard for me to say, oh, dude, that group has major influences on these movies. Do you know what I mean? I'm just not sure. But I do understand what you're saying. And here's what I think it is. I think there's a lot of fans. Well, you know what? Fuck it. I guess we'll just get into it, man. Because I have all my takes and shit like that, too. Go woke, go broke. It's that simple. I really don't think it's that simple, man. I mean, you know, I understand why people say that. And it's like a nice, catchy thing to say. But I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, you look at Barbie. You look at the Super Mario movie, which caused a civil war in the anti-woke crowd. Like, half of the people said Princess Peach was a girl boss and it was like this super woke movie. Like I don't think it's that simple, brother. You know, I don't think it's that simple. What I would say though is there's a whole bunch of people, and I've always tried to explain it this way because I think this is the take that I can fuck with. Like this is what I can get down with. There are a whole bunch of people that don't necessarily really care one way or the other about these like things that the studios have been doing that you would call woke. Okay? There's this whole group of people that doesn't really care that much one way or the other. But we are absolutely fucking exhausted of the conversation. So like, for instance, like, and this is a nuanced point. So 80% of you, this is going to fly right over your head. You have no idea, and you're just going to parrot, get woke, go broke over and over again. Totally. It's all good. You're welcome here too. It's fine. But this is actually what it is. I don't really care that much about the female Silver Surfer. I don't want female Silver Surfer. Like, I wanted Norrin. I don't really care that much if the Silver Surfer is female. However, I fucking hate having to do make a bunch of content and have this conversation with chat and talk to a bunch of other nerds about it. I fucking hate having to do all of that shit for 6+ months as we get towards the film. And so I would tell Feige literally, brother, don't do this stupid shit anymore. Not because I actually care, but because it is so fucking exhausting to keep having this conversation and keep having to deal with people like, no offense, Shalami, but like Shalami here for 6+ months as we get to the movie. Capitulate? Again, I don't even care that much. I just don't want to have to do this bullshit anymore. And I actually think that's most people. Like, I legitimately think that's most people. And then, ironically, there's a whole bunch of people that actually love it, and they're more than happy to have this conversation every single time. And I bet those people would actually get fucking bored as shit if Marvel just, like, stopped. And that's what I would love to see, right? So, I don't know, man. You know, take it or leave it. That's how I feel about it. Okay, let's get into this, though. So, chat, is Marvel fucking cooked, man? Look, let's talk about Fantastic Four. Let's talk about this box office here, okay? Weekend 2 for the Fantastic Four. We're over here with Luis Fernando says, that's it. Fantastic Four faces one of the biggest drops in MCU's history. See the top below at the U.S. box office. No! What the fuck? Fantastic Four grossed a solid $40 million, highest grossing second 3-day weekend for any Fantastic Four film, but a harsh 66% drop from opening weekend versus Superman, $58.5 million, 53.2. Brother, that 53.2, holy shit. That's a great drop, dude. God damn it, James. So, yeah, bad. Even so, it's the 6th biggest weekend for the 2025, only under Rebirth, Sinners, Superman, Lilo and Stitch, a Minecraft movie, etc. The Fantastic Four hits a $198.4 million cum in the U.S., beating Thunderbolt's entire run. 200+ mark coming tomorrow, and then it becomes the highest grossing MCU movie in 2025 domestically, beating Captain America's blah, blah, blah. So here's where it gets kind of crazy. We look at these drops here. So the highest drop ever in the history of Marvel was The Marvels, which, by the way, I say this often, and I only say it because it's true and a lot of people ignore it. The Marvels is the biggest bomb in the history of Hollywood. Just on raw numbers, The Marvels lost more money than any movie in the history of Hollywood. Quantumania had the second biggest drop at 69.9, Bound Chicka Bow Wow. And then you have Captain America Brave New World at 68.3. You have Black Widow, 67.8. You have Thor, Love and Thunder at 67.7. You have No Way Home at 67.5. The thing about No Way Home, which everybody must bring up, is that it opened at like 400 million global or some shit. Like the opening was so absurd that drop is not as bad there. Actually, similar for Multiverse of Madness. That movie almost made $1 billion without China just on its own. And then right there, you have Fantastic Four First Steps at 66. So look, here's a couple of things that are pretty bad about this. It's not just that it's in the lower portion here. It is that it is in the lower portion, and it is surrounded by movies that have come out in the last couple of years. The Marvels, Quantumania, Brave New World, Black Widow, Love and Thunder, No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, and then Fantastic Four First Steps. I mean, fuck, man, you take it even further, Wakanda Forever is also in there. These are all movies that came out in the last couple of years. So what does this mean? Well, I think, obviously, it's not a great sign, okay? It's a significant drop. It means the movie's incredibly front-loaded. Now, is the film a bomb? Okay? Is the film a flop? We keep saying this, right? This is the big question out there. From what I understand, this movie can become profitable just in the 500s, okay? Now, some of this has to do with some weird bullshit math that I don't understand at all. Something to do with like some product placement or whatever. It made like 170 million via that. You know, they're saying the marketing cost was down, blah, 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 blah. If it gets into the 500 million, it's probably going to break even, maybe make a little bit of profit, okay? But here's the thing. Without a doubt, 100%, Marvel has to be disappointed in this number. There is no way around it. They absolutely have to be disappointed in this number. Now, does this mean it's panic time? I don't think it's panic time. I just think the cows have come home. I think this is what it is. I think this is where Marvel is at, and we're going to explain what I mean exactly by that. But if this thing continues to drop worse and worse, it could be panic time. I'm not saying it's panic time right now, right? But just like with Superman, there is technically a chance that this thing just underperforms dramatically from here on out and ends up doing even worse than it looks right now. That would be bad. So both Superman and Fantastic Four kind of had this thing where it's probably going to make money for the next 3, 4, maybe even 5 weeks. That's just what happens. Like, people either keep going or maybe people can't go right away or whatever, right? The movie going habits, although these things are front loaded, we've seen many different movies continue to leg out strongly for weeks and weeks and weeks. Right now, F1 is actually like up towards 600. I think it's like in the mid 500s. And that took a long time and a re-release in IMAX to get there. So there's all sorts of ways this could go better. There are ways this thing could go much worse from here. So what do I think is going on with Marvel? I think the reality is this. This is not the Marvels. This is not Quantumania. This is not Joker 2. Okay? So this is not Marvel hardcore audience completely rejects the movie. Normies completely reject the movie. The movie is rejected. That is not happening here. Okay? And Marvel should be grateful for that, right? Like, that is good news. But at the same time, I think the really embarrassing thing here is Superman. It feels to me like Kevin Feige was trying to little bro the Superman movie. I think releasing this film so close to Superman was Marvel literally trying to hurt the Superman movie. Do you agree? Put a 1 into the chat if you do. Here's the thing. I think because of that fact, and because Superman is not only, I mean, maybe it is hurting Superman a little bit, but Superman's doing fine, you know? I think the fact that Superman is performing better than this movie, when this movie seemingly was positioned to try to hurt Superman, is making Marvel look really fucking bad. It's also making James Gunn look absolutely incredible. So I actually thought maybe the opposite was going to happen, where this movie performed better. It got up to 700, 800. Gunn would have looked bad because Superman is not doing that great. Again, it's fine, but it's not like blowing up the way that you would want, right? But because now It's going to make more, probably, than every single Marvel movie this year. James Gunn is looking like a god. Superman is looking fucking incredible. That is so embarrassing for Marvel. Like, bruh. That's a big L, bro. So, in a sense, Marvel has some things they could take away from this and feel positive about it. But there's a lot of reasons and a lot of things to take away from this that I think are pretty negative. So here's what I think is going on. I think the hardcore fandom is still intact for Marvel. Okay? This thing's going to make $500 million. It could even get close to $6 million, depending on how the next couple of weeks go. That's not like a bomb. It's not a flop. It's not anything to be like super duper concerned about, right? But what it indicates is that Marvel basically only has their hardcore audience left that will just go to the movie theaters. So the way I'm thinking about this, the way I'm kind of looking at this is like, man, they certainly have the hardcores. I mean, it has great audience scores. From almost all the fans I've talked to, really enjoy the flick. I think it's great. It could even be top 5 Marvel for me. Absolutely love it. But the fall off here would indicate that the normies are mostly checked out, man. And honestly, that's what brand damage is. That's what it is, and that's what happened. And here's the reality, man. The uncomfortable truth is Marvel did this to themselves completely. And there were a lot of things that they could have done differently over the last couple of years. Like, bruh, they absolutely should have canceled projects. You cannot have 6, 7 red carpets every fucking year. And you cannot put us through the same rigmarole every single time of like, oh, here's all the same access media motherfuckers. Oh, they're all there. All their social media reactions are all really, really good. Oh, man, here we go. And it cannot be the coolest, most important, fun Marvel thing 7 times a year. That's fucking insane, dude. I can't believe they straight-faced tried to do that shit to us for the last couple of years while the proverbial sky was falling and the quality had sunken through the floor. That's what I think has happened. It's like you dead ass cannot have 6 to 7 red carpet. I don't ever want to see an MCU red carpet again in my fucking life. Dude, they have taken something that was the golden goose, that every aspect of it had become ritual. Like I'm telling you, ritual. It was a ritual to see how the red carpet went for Marvel. It was a ritual to go see the first reactions. It was a ritual to see the Rotten Tomatoes score. It was a ritual to go see it at opening weekend. And then it was a ritual to go out online and have the conversation with other fans, you know, watch your favorite YouTube channel, break down this, that, second, and the third. They had took that and they turned it into, at every turn of that entire process, friction, anger, frustration, people moaning in boredom. They cooked this whole thing so much that people are so checked out, man. They are so checked out. And I told you guys, when I went to New York, and it was probably a couple of months ago now, when I went to New York, man, and I went for an official like Marvel thing, right? They wanted me to play Deadpool VR, and it was awesome. But here's the thing. I knew then, after my visit, I knew shit was whack because I'm there with a bunch of nerds, a bunch of content creators, like a bunch of people that are the target audience for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'm telling you, man, I was shocked at how many of those people had stopped watching, and how many people weren't even seeing the movies anymore, couldn't care less about a show, and weren't even excited for Doomsday. Like, dude, I kind of knew then just how bad this shit was. Okay? So that's what I think. Okay? Now, the obvious next question is, can it recover? Okay, can this thing recover? And I'm interested to know what you guys think. Like, let me know in the chat. Here's the thing. The way I'm looking at this right now is I think Spider-Man next year into Doomsday is now a test. It's a test. I think just a couple of months ago, maybe certainly at the beginning of this year before all this other shit, we would have said it's a sure thing. You know, like, and some of you probably still think that. You're like, oh, Spider-Man, are you kidding me? You see how much people liked it on social media? It's like, yeah. They all seem to like Fantastic Four on social media as well. You know, I don't know if that translates. So next year, via Spider-Man and via Doomsday, they now have a test. A test. Okay? And if the test goes well, I think that we could completely recover. We could get back to billion-dollar movies. We could even go on a billion-dollar streak. But here's the truth, chat, okay? And I want to leave this segment with this idea. This is the absolute truth. This is the most true thing that I could tell you right now. You're going to hear a ton of different folks today, tomorrow, even yesterday, all throughout the next couple of weeks. You're gonna hear so many different pundits, scoopers, insiders, nerds, buttholes on social media. You're gonna see so many people try to prognosticate what is gonna happen, try to give you takes on what they think is the problem. Every person is gonna try to figure this shit out over the next couple of weeks. I promise you this: nobody knows. Nobody knows. Everybody's trying to figure it out. Nobody knows for sure. There's three different things that could happen. Number one, we could see a complete recovery. It could be the case that they need this year-long break. It could be the case that Spider-Man and higher profile character and more spectacle plots is the key to success. And we could get back to like 800 million plus billion-dollar comic book things, and we're just back, all the way back. That's option number one. Option number two, terrible. The Spider-Man movie barely makes $500 million. Doomsday does not even crack $1 billion, and we just have to accept that the comic book genre is going to settle in to becoming a $300 to $600 million max industry, and they're going to have to bring the budgets down. The entire industry will change. Maybe you get one, maybe two movies a year. It's probably not going to go away, but it's not going to be the main thing anymore. And then the third option is somewhere in the middle of that, right? That is the most true shit you're going to hear all day on this topic. Nobody knows for sure. There are three different ways this thing could shake out, and we're going to find out. And we're going to find out together, because they really do need Spider-Man to pop off, or we might be totally fucking cooked. So there you have it. There you have it. What do you guys think? What do you think? Before we move on to the next topic, man, what do you guys think of that? Spider-Man will be fine. We're going to find out. I don't know. I don't know. They will make billions again. Sounds awful. Next topic. Jesus. Doomsday is 1,000% the real test. I think they're both a test, bro. I think they're both a test. Star Wars will take over. I'm glad y'all have a sense of humor still. That's a good joke, man. DBZ now says, ready to pay up that $500? Yeah, I'm ready, but I didn't hear no bell. You know? Look, it's still making money. Okay? The bet is for the entire theatrical run. I didn't hear no bell. Come on, get out there and see Fantastic Four. Help your boy out. You goddamn buttholes. Oh, you ready to pay that $500? How about you shut the fuck up and go see Fantastic Four so I don't have to? God damn. All right, I need to go put another air conditioner thing in here because it's too hot in here. Hang on, I'll be right back. Freaking buttholes. You freaking poopy buttholes. Oh, no, I fucked up my hair. I should have never touched it. Are we going to be able to... Hang on. Fuck it. Just leave it like that. Anybody in here got curly hair, man? That shit is tough. Especially when it's humid in the summer and shit. I checked mine last night, and it's all dust. I cleaned it up, though. What? Get mini split arc unit? I actually have a mini split right there. Yeah. We haven't talked about millennials that are more gamers than comic book readers changing taste. Well, let's talk about that, man. Oh, damn. Really, Darth Wozer? So what are you saying? That I'm fucked here? You know what's interesting about that, guys? So let's talk about that for a second, okay? You know, people are saying like more people play video games than read comics, but that's been the case. That was the case when the MCU started. Like comics ever since probably the mid-90s. I mean, it's really only like 300,000, 500,000 people in general reading books each week. Like, look at the sales, dude. Like, it's never been that big of an industry, except like the early 90s. Like, out of the 80s into the early 90s, when the Image guys and like Liefeld and, you know, Jim Lee and all, when they're selling like 1 million books, like, sure, yeah. I've never read a comic in my life. Goddamn. But that's what I mean is like, look, maybe it's a perfect time, chat. Maybe it's a perfect time to talk about tomorrow, okay? Just out of curiosity, how many of you are Warhammer curious? You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're either into Warhammer or you're Warhammer curious. Anybody? How many? How many of you? Throw a 1 into the chat if you're Warhammer curious. Oh, brother, here we go. So here's the thing. Next topic. So here's the thing. Today, we are going to have a long, ample stream talking about the comic book movie genre. We're going to talk about Marvel a bit more. We're going to talk about DC. We're going to talk about Spider-Man. We're going to talk about all this shit today, okay? But tomorrow, I am going to dedicate the entire stream to explaining in detail why Warhammer is going to replace the MCU. It's the next big thing. I'm dead ass. And here's the thing. Let me just say this too. Not even the Warhammer fans fully believe this. Okay? So there's the Warhammer community is not even as sure of this as I am. A lot of the Marvel fandom's like, there's no fucking way, right? But I see it. Okay? I see it from my perspective. I see it. It's so obvious to me. It's so obvious to me. So tomorrow, we're going to break it all down. I'm going to go into detail, man. Because here's the truth. This is how we're going to do it. We need to acknowledge how successful the MCU was. I think that's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. Just look at the numbers, right? Then we need to examine why was it so successful and acknowledge that basically since its inception, many other studios have been trying to recreate this. Okay, it's so obvious. We've seen so many different versions, right? Sony did a little version of it. The Universal Monster, Godzilla vs. Kong's doing a version of it. All of these studios are trying to do this. Everybody wants the MCU thing. I mean, that's what Zaslav wants. That's why James Gunn is doing what he's doing. Zazzy wants that, right? Once I explain to you why the studios want this, and I show you how Marvel was first able to do what it did, I will then explain how and why Warhammer is well positioned to do it as well. So we'll talk about that tomorrow, though. In all seriousness, I'm excited. We're going to get into the weeds. I might get the whiteboard out. Oh, we're going to talk Warhammer. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious. Anyway, Not going to tune in tomorrow. Disliking it and leaving. That is your prerogative. You are free to do that. Not the Dark Universe. Not the Dark Universe. Oh, no. I like the idea of new and edgy, but Warhammer best attributes are adult theme that doesn't spell success. Just trust me. Would you just trust me? And also, I'll definitely get into that tomorrow. Yeah. Warhammer doesn't have Jeff the Shark. That's true. That's true. Yeah. What is the next topic? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's get into it. Let's get into the next topic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to admit that I was right about Marvel. I think it's pretty obvious, right? After this weekend with Fantastic Four falling 66% and seemingly dealing with some massive brand damage, there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about because I've been saying for a while that things are not going well. And in all seriousness, there was a time period, and maybe even it's still happening right now. People were so fucking mean and so rude to me because I was saying shit like Marvel should cancel some projects, right? And that's the first thing I want to talk about is canceling projects, okay? Man, I was saying this for years. And should they have canceled Disney Plus projects? Absolutely. Several of these Disney Plus projects should go. And frankly, they should even cancel the ones that are still coming out this year, right? Like, they should get rid of that shit. But it's so obvious that they should have canceled stuff. And here's the thing that really biffs me about this. Like, how the fuck is Feige going to come out and give all these comments about how it was too much and they know it was too much? Dude, you're the one that greenlit it all. And you're the one that refused to cancel stuff. And this is where we are at now. Oh, my God. And here's the other thing, too. Even the good projects should have probably been gone. Like, so we talk about, what's the show? Agatha, right? Agatha's actually pretty decent. Agatha actually charted. Agatha actually did pretty well. But, dude, it doesn't matter because what Agatha, the problem that I'm referring to is a problem separate from the quality. There are some people out there that are saying that if Marvel had had absolutely incredible movies and television and none of it was bad, none of this would be happening. That's fucking crazy. So we can actually apply logic and do a thought experiment here to show you how crazy that is. So here's a simple question. Is it possible at all for Marvel to be doing too much outside of quality? Meaning, if every single project was a 10 out of 10 and they dropped a new movie every single day, do you think that would be too much? Right? Now, that might seem obvious, but that's why you use like logic. You can extrapolate from that point to where you're at. Basically, of course there is, outside of quality, of course there is a ceiling on how much you can handle, on how much would do it. Saturate the market. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. You've heard this expression before. It's so obvious that that's the case, right? So, like, this entire conversation of, like, well, if it all had been bangers, like, we'd be fine. No, we fucking wouldn't, dude. There's no goddamn way you can do 6 to 11 projects a year and not fatigue your audience. On top of that, here's the worst part of what happened. Every single part, and I mentioned this a little bit before, but this is really how I feel about it. Every single part of this process, including the rituals, the red carpets, the previews, the premieres, the Easter eggs, the breakdowns, the watch parties, the discourse, all of it. Every single part of the process became tiresome. Every single part lost its luster. And on top of that, Marvel has some quirks, okay? right? So Marvel has some quirks. Marvel has some what would you call eccentricities, whatever that fucking word is. You know what I'm talking about. Marvel has its own little things that it does. It has the goofy little humor things, right? It has the colorful palette. It's got the costumes that exist in a certain way. Marvel has like things about it, very specific things to Marvel. Well, when you show us and give us 6, 7, 9, 10, fucking 11 of these things a year, all of those things become tiresome. All of those little things people get a little bored of. Like, have you ever been with somebody in a relationship? And I know most of you probably not, but some of you probably have actually been in a relationship before. You'll find that this happens in relationships too. Do you know that during COVID, divorce rates like skyrocketed? Do you know why? Anybody? Anybody know why? I mean, it's obvious, right? Like these people in a high stress environment spending way more time together than they normally would. All the little things that bother you about your partner get dialed up. We're not meant to be like that. You need your space. You need your ability to be a person, express your own feelings and self. Guys, they literally dead ass try to spoon feed us 7+ projects a year. And of course, there were quality problems. I'm not going to sit here and say that there weren't quality problems. But if you look at the box office right now, all the biggest movies are slop. Like, I don't know what else to say. Minecraft, fucking slop. I'm sorry. You might like it. Get fucked. It's slop. Jurassic Johannes Scarlet. I've heard it's the worst fucking movie in the whole series. Okay? Lilo and Stitch, which some of you guys get butthurt when I say this for whatever reason, but doesn't Lilo and Stitch literally at the end of the movie in his goofy little Lilo Stitch say, fuck Ohana? Disney doesn't like family? Like, I don't know. That's what I was told. I didn't see the movie, but I heard this little fucker comes out at the end and is basically like, Disney doesn't like families anymore. And it's slop as well. From what I've heard. The movie's not even great. Okay, so think about that. The biggest movies this year, which used to be the Marvel movies, right? And then, you know, the Cameron stuff occasionally and shit. But like the point is, the biggest movies this year aren't even fucking good. They're not even good. So you can't say the lack of quality for Marvel is what added to the fatigue. Make it make sense, dude. Make it make sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you feeling me? Do you understand? So it's not the quality, dude. They fucking cooked it. They should have canceled project. Dude, this is crazy radical, but I'm telling you right now, they should have canceled half of the projects. Half of them. Half of them. So, part of the reason why I'm bringing this up is like, I'm just fucking salty because I got called all sorts of names. I got accused of being super toxic and horrible because I was telling, hey, Marvel should probably start canceling projects. Like, I don't think this is sustainable. I don't think we should do this. Like, cancel what? Dude, name me a project. Flip a coin, heads up, cancel it. Straight up. You could go, literally, Kevin, this would have been better. You are toxic? Fair. This would have been better. Feige, every single project in phase 4 and 5, literally, dead ass, like, flip a coin. Like, I got this silver coin here because I'm pretty sure World War III's happening and stuff, so we're stocking up on our silver. So let's see here. What are the projects? We'll do tails, cancel it. Heads, it stays. WandaVision. Stays. Loki. Cancel. Falcon and Winter Soldier. Cancel. Miss Marvel. Cancel. I like this coin. Hawkeye. cancel. This coin is great. This coin just did a better job than a president of Marvel Studios. So I apologize. I'm just a little butthurt because it sucks to be right. And it also sucks to have been told that I was stupid poo-poo head for years. And then now I have to sleep in the bed that the Hat Man made. And it's not a good bed. There's bed bugs. There's prostitutes. I'm pretty sure I found a needle. It's not a good time over here. Okay? Next thing. Quality alone isn't the answer. I already kind of talked about this. But, like, in the midst of this shit, right, over the past couple of years, a lot of you would be, like, we would talk about it and shit, and, like, you guys would be like, they just need better movies. Or, like fucking James Gunn, right? They just need better scripts. You know what killed Marvel over the past couple of years? Not completed scripts. Holy shit. I tried to say, while we were having these discussions, and I get it, chat. I understand the inclination when you don't like a thing, and then you see things perhaps underperforming, and you're like, well, if it was better, it would make more money. And I told you guys during this run, I said, that's not fucking true. That's not even what made Marvel successful in the first place. Like, don't get me wrong. There are some really good Marvel movies. Within the first 3 phases, there are some incredible Marvel movies. But do you not remember the Scorsese comments? Do you not remember? Scorsese came out and said they're amusement park movies. And if you recall, there was a moment, and I know this was early on, like dead ass, like we're talking about like potentially 15 years ago. So like some of you have kind of aged out of this conversation, but some of you haven't. Some of you guys were there. Don't you remember when the critics in the industry was so harsh on Marvel? They would ding them about quality all the time. Right? So there's been some good Marvel movies, but Marvel didn't become what it was because of the quality of the films, dude. I don't know what else to say. That's not it. That's not the value proposition. The value proposition was, oh, this next comic book movie that's connected to this other comic book movie that's setting up this other comic book movie. That's the buildup, following the characters, the story, the spectacle. Brother, it used to be a novel concept to have a shared universe where constant cameos happened. Like, this was considered novel, and it was. It was truly something special. And it was a big driving part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's success. And then the other thing that's crazy, and a lot of people forget, is Marvel didn't really hit that billion-dollar stride until Phase 3, right in the last 3 to 4 years leading up to Endgame. That's really when the magic happened. There were a lot of hits and a lot of misses, and it would, you know, they were profitable, but it's not like they were crushing it throughout the whole thing. It was really that 5-year period right into Endgame. That was when the shit was like crazy. And the growth they saw from that was like absolutely absurd. And even that, guys, was not actually because of quality. It was because of an escalating story, escalating stakes, incredible characters that we loved and we were interested in. But it wasn't like they were putting out Dances with Wolves or Citizen Kane of comic book movies every single time out. That's not what happened, right? And it's also just not, like, look at the box office. I think Thunderbolts might be one of the best comic book movies ever made. It is quintessential Marvel Studios. It feels like Phase 3. It is on point. I fucking love that movie. Fantastic Four is so crispy. I know there's some debate about this. Like, some people don't think it's as good. I think it's a goddamn masterpiece. And I think if you're a cinephile, you drool all over, man. That movie is, like, that movie feels like a Christopher Nolan comic book movie. You know, like, but with Fantastic Four rather than Batman, right? Like, it's crispy as fuck. It's so good. It doesn't matter. That's not putting butts in seats, guys. And then you look at Deadpool and Wolverine, and I think that's a really fun movie. You know, I try not to talk too much shit on it, but it's kind of slop, brother. Like, that movie's kind of fucking slop. It's a cameo fest, slop fest. Its plot is paper thin. Like, It has a couple of meaningful moments, and otherwise, it is just it's a comic book slop. Like, I don't know what else to say. And that thing made $1.3 fucking billion, guys. It was never about the quality of the individual film. It was about the quality of the viewer's experience engaging with the universe overall. That's what it is. And I think Marvel, like, they have to be able to look at these last two movie performances, I think particularly with Thunderbolts, but definitely with Fantastic Four as well. They have to look at this and they have to realize that quality is not the answer. And I've seen some wild fucking takes out there. Like, I watched Grace's movie math yesterday. All due respect to Grace. And, you know, she's iconic. She's doing her thing. It's great. But, like, bro, she's like, these movies aren't good enough. It made me want to rip my fucking hair out. I was like, what are you talking about? They have some of the highest audience. Like, what are you talking about? Now, if you were to say to me they're not as valuable to the consumer, I could get on board. But this whole, like, they need to make better movies? No! Fuck no! That's not the value proposition. That's not what people give a shit about. So, in my opinion, Chad, I feel very strongly that I was right about them not canceling stuff. I feel very strongly that I was also right that quality is not the answer. Quality alone is not going to get them out of this. If it were, Fantastic Four would be doing much better. Okay? Here's the sad little end cap to this segment, and to put an exclamation point on this. I, as a Marvel fan, just as a fan, not as a pundit, not as a, YouTuber, reporter, whatever other bullshit, just as a fan, I love the Thunderbolts and I love Fantastic Four. I basically could not be happier as a fan with regards to those two films. I could not be happier personally. That is the problem. They have put so much time and energy into making movies. Like, I almost feel like Feige was like, okay, we got sloppy. A bunch of nerd Avengers said, if I fix the quality, I'm going to fix it. Josh cannot possibly be right, so here we go. We're going to fix the quality. And then he goes and spends all this time fixing the quality. And really what I think that was to prove that they can still make the quality. Like, we can still make it the way we used to. All these pizzas, they're not hitting the way they used to. Well, guess what? The original recipe guy is back. The ingredients are what they used to be. We're going to cook you a pizza just like it was before. And I'm over here like, dude, fuck yes. That pizza was awesome. Loved your pizzas back in the day. Let's go. Whole bunch of the world is like, I'm kind of sick of pizza, Kevin. That's tough. That's tough. Now, they have a chance to, again, potentially turn it around, show us that you can do this with Spider-Man and with Doomsday. But if those films don't work, I personally feel you need vision, not the character. You need a whole new vision for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, luckily for them, they have a reboot or a reset, like, lingering. I think, and it really does depend on how things go next year, I'm personally leaning more into a heavy reboot, a harsh reboot, not a soft reboot. I think that's probably the way, and we'll see. But maybe that's also time that Parliament introduces new people or they find a new visionary. Like, I think that might be on the table at this point. Yeah, which is kind of like the next thing that I think I might be right about. So, yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think about that? Am I too harsh? Am I being unfair? John's Honest Take says, Marvel made the rules and focused success, and found success, and then went away from it. Phase 4 really ruined them. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm saying a version of that myself, but yeah, I think that's probably what happened. Yes, peace through... Wait, what? I still remember how Ryan hates Wolverine Origins and Green Lantern. Interesting. Steve says, big yup. Not the goddamn White Vision, the real Vision. I know, right? Bring in Snyder for Marvel. Not a bad idea. But yes, hopefully these next upcoming movies are really good. I just want to be excited again. I keep being excited again. Well, you know, like I think here to give Marvel credit, right? To give them a little bit of credit here. They have built probably one of the biggest hardcore audiences we have ever seen. If they've truly lost almost all the normies and they're still making like 500-600 million in a movie, then that's incredible. That speaks to how big they have created that hardcore base, which is awesome. And that's going to pay dividends. But it is obviously the case that they're not connecting with like the normies and the potential audience in the same way that they used to. Right? Yeah. Trev says, I think your Kevin Feige book is going to have a really dark second act. I mean, it seems that way. You know, I'm not sure what the solution is. Here's the truth. I think Marvel is mostly going to just keep their head down and move forward. Right? They're going to stomach whatever happens with Fantastic Four. It's not like they're going to cancel Doomsday. It's not like they're going to cancel Spider-Man. They're clearly cooking with Spider-Man. They have some cool ideas. Doomsday becomes a bit of a concern with Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts' success or lack thereof specifically, which I guess we could get into if you want to. But there's obviously time to make adjustments, and I think Doom himself will be a big draw there. I'm less concerned about the next two Avengers movies as I am for the X-Men saga or the Mutant saga or whatever comes next. Like, I think these next couple of years will pop. There's questions as far as how much will they pop, right? But I think what we're really asking, at least for me, like what I'm really asking is this. Is the Mutant saga capped at 600-700 million? Or are we going back to $1 billion? Like, that's my question is, will the reboot and the new stuff, like, are we back? Which the next couple of years will help if it's good and if people like it, et cetera, but yeah. The real concern is after Secret Wars, to me. And then, so some of you guys are debating this or whatever. Totally fair. So here's the next question is that okay? Because look, Marvel can exist in that ballpark. It's just different, right? Like they're just going to have to treat it differently. And then it's more like, okay, well, let's try to get costs down. You know, we want these movies to maybe cost 100 million max. And then like if it makes 4, 5, 6, it's fine. You know? Josh, quit being a show for Marvel. It's DC time. Well, you'll probably really like the next segment. Oh, wait, actually. The next segment. Which is James Gunn might save the comic book movie space. Do you think DVDs becoming irrelevant has also killed the movie scene? I've seen a ton of people say this, and it makes sense. I'm 100% convinced because online rentals are fairly big now. It certainly sucked a lot of revenue out of that pipeline. Yeah, totally. Stop it. Wait, what? Den of Gun Glaze? Oh, just wait. You got to look at the camera to your left, not the screen. Almost just spilled my copy. Gun not saving shit? Ah, shit. Should I get into it? Because you're a punk rocker. Yes, you are. You know what the worst part of this is? And I'll never admit this on a big live stream if there's a bunch of people here. How many people we got? Oh, shit. 1,300? Never mind. I'll keep it to myself. By the way, I would really like to go back to multi-streaming, so I'm going to try to get it set up so that we can multi-stream on Twitch, Twitter, maybe Kick also. And I've been thinking about doing another subathon soon, too. What would you guys want to do for a subathon? So you can ignore them again? Well, maybe I won't ignore them as much. You ever think of that? Say it? Okay, I'll say it, but you guys don't tell anybody else. Warhammer TTS for 12 hours? Well, I might play tonight, Adam. I might play tonight. Okay, here's what I'm going to say, and I'm never going to admit this again. Part of me wants to see Superman again. But I can't justify going to see Superman again while I still have this bet going on. You know? Like, Superman's pretty good. Like, I like that movie, bro. Like, that shit was good. Anyway. Should we talk about James Gunn? Okay, how about this? Let's talk about two things. Let's talk about, are comic book movies totally cooked? Is it a genre problem? And then let's segue into how, although I can't fucking believe it, we might have to put our hope into James Gunn to save the comic book movie genre. I can't even believe I'm fucking saying it, but I do have some points here. Okay, so first thing I want to bring up, it really does feel as though Superman and Fantastic Four are basically in the same boat. Superman is ahead of Fantastic Four. Superman is performing better than Fantastic Four by almost every metric you can count. But Superman is still, I think, a little bit disappointing in the box office. But lucky for Gunn and lucky for DC, he made more than all the Marvel movies probably. And also, he's making Fantastic Four look really silly. So, like, James is getting kind of a pass because of where Marvel is at, right? But here's the thing. To be fair to Gunn, I got to be honest. I've said this before, but I think even Superman would be doing better if Kevin hadn't tried to get us into 7 to 11 different red carpets a year. Like, the fatigue created by Marvel is also hurting Superman, I think. So it's like, you can say on the one hand, yes, even Superman is underperforming, but in the same breath, I think you have to admit that's kind of Feige's fault too, honestly, right? Which is kind of crazy. But the reality is, guys, these movies, they obviously have some problems. And I think number one, something that's obvious is the international box office. Like, it is just clearly the case that comic book movies are not lighting the international box office on fire. You could make the argument, well, not a lot of stuff is in general fair, but the second Avatar movie made like $250 million in China, right? So it's not like that audience doesn't exist. It just doesn't seem to be down with comic book movies in the same way. I think the other thing that's obvious is the normies are far less interested in comic book stuff than they used to be. I mean, that's just, like, it's obvious. Like, look at the numbers this year compared to last year. Look at the numbers just in general. There's this crazy decline. And, you know, for many of the different reasons that we've talked about, this obviously has hurt the space. So comic book movies themselves are not on their deathbed, but they are so clearly in a different place than they were just a couple of years ago, and perhaps in the lowest place they've been since they were kind of getting started in between Blade and X-Men, like that time period. So is there a way that this can happen, and are there problems specific to this genre that are hurting it over others? Well, I would say this. Number one, it's obvious that there's just way too much. There's way too much of the shit, and mostly that's Marvel's fault. A little bit this is Sony's fault. Honestly, a little bit of this is DC's fault. You know, DC, I know it's been a year, maybe two, but they did release, like, you know, Joker 2, Shazam 2, Aquaman, you know, like Blue Beetle. Like, they did their part too. Way too much, dude. Way too much of this shit. We just had, chat, 3 Marvel movies within the span of 6 months. And on top of that, there were multiple shows during that time as well. Brother, are you kidding me? That's way too much. 3 fucking Marvel movies plus 2 big high-profile Disney Plus shows within 6 or 7 months? And you got Superman in there? Holy shit, way too much, okay? So I think the comic book movie genre needs to pull way back. I would say 1, maybe 2 movies a year for each individual universe, because that's still like 4 to 6, depending on how many of these other projects are out there. You need way less output, but on top of that, you need way more input in the individual film as far as spectacle, connection, and all of that. I basically think the solution forward for everybody is try to make more movies like No Way Home, Doomsday, Deadpool, and Wolverine, in the sense that you're making them big, huge events and do 1 to 2 of them a year. That is the basics. That's like the basic idea here. Now, if you look at next year, we've got Spider-Man and Doomsday. That feels very strong. You've got the Punisher special, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which better be good. Holy shit. And then you've got some other shows like The Vision Show and some other stuff too. But that's good output. That's good output. Now, DC, they've got Supergirl, which is kind of a question mark for me. I mean, I think I'm personally excited for it. I could see audiences not being that into it. We'll see. And then they have Clayface. I have no idea what to do with Clayface. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to do with Clayface. I don't know what to think with Clayface. I don't know. Okay. Lanterns, though, that feels strong. It feels like Lanterns is going to be good. But here's the truth. Okay. Here's the truth. Is the comic book movie genre completely cooked? No. But I think everybody with a brain would have to admit it has stagnated. It is stagnated. And I think you look at Superman, Fantastic Four, and Thunderbolts. In a lot of ways, all 3 of these movies are a return to form. They are old school comic book movies. Like, you know, even the suits, the aesthetics, the themes. I mean, Superman is like supposed to just make you feel good from like back in the day. You know, they are nostalgic, like early adaptations of comic movies, I think made specifically for the sensibilities of comic book fans and fans of comic book movies. And I don't think that's the formula for success moving forward. It is so obvious that that's not going to work anymore. So I think you need to go for it. You need to swing for the fences. And I think next year will be better, but there are a lot of other changes and considerations that I think need to happen. Now, whether or not Marvel can recover is a certain question here. DC is sort of beginning and they're off to the races here. But I want to now tell you, and this I need to sort of take it into this part of the section here. When I just thought about this last night and this morning, I was just thinking about comics, comic book movies, entertainment, pop culture. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I actually do think that James Gunn could be an important part of saving this space. And I'm going to throw out several things here that I think Gunn does better than Feige, things that I think Gunn will absolutely do, and things that I think will actually pay big dividends for this space. And again, I almost can't believe I'm saying this, but here we go. First thing, bringing sexy back. I'm actually not kidding. I've been trying to make this point for several years. I think it gets mischaracterized often. I think people have like the wrong impression of what I'm saying here. And by the way, I even saw Grace Randolph kind of admit this yesterday when her movie match. She was talking about the beefcake. She's talking about like Downey, Hemsworth, and Chris Evans. And the fact that there's like sex appeal there, and these dudes were a big part of bringing people in. And on top of that, you had Scarlett Johansson, Elizabeth Olsen, like you had some babes, dude. You know what I mean? Marvel, Disney has done this really weird thing over the past couple of years where they've become like weirdly sterile and asexual. It's been really weird. Like, I don't like it. A lot of people don't like it, don't understand it. You know, I tried to make this point several times, but when you have a female-led movie, one of the examples I looked at was the Marvels. Okay? You look at the poster for the Marvels, and then you compare that to the Instagram photos of all three of those actresses. They know how to dress themselves and how to put themselves out there on social media in a way that either has sex appeal or has, like, they just look good. They're appealing. Okay? You literally look at them in their real fucking life, and then you look at what they look like in the movie. It looks like they're wearing trash bags, dude. What the fuck is this? It was so weird and sterile and asexual. It's weird. I don't understand it. Part of superheroes in general, like, if you ever notice, if you just pull a random, as an experiment, go into the comic shop, pull out a random back issue. I bet you're going to see some dudes that are jacked with great drawing of all their different individual muscles. And I bet you're going to see some beautiful women with big hair, big tits, and a big ass. I'm not saying anything that's not obvious. But if you think about why that is, it's because the idealization of the human form, male form, female form, is inherent to the superhero shit. Like, come on, man. And here's the thing. I love Sue Storm and Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four. But Superman and Lois doing the dry humping on the counter, that's what we need. Okay? Again, like, this is just something that Gunn inherently understands better than Disney, better than Feige. I'm dead ass. And this is actually like, we're having a little fun here, like, we're being tongue in cheek, but I'm actually not kidding. Like, this is actually really important. And Gunn will do this. So it seems crazy, but I'm dead ass. Okay? Next up. Comic book creator connection. This is something that Marvel's come under a lot of fire for publicly via, Rob Liefeld, Bo DeMeo, other people. Now, there's some debate as far as how universal of a problem is this, because the guy that wrote The Sentry seemed to have no problem with them. Charles Soule seemed to have no problem with them. But make no mistake about it, Marvel has a bad reputation, and they have scorned talent, and they don't pay as well as DC. Like, there's a whole thing there. There was a time where Marvel Comics had a lot more influence over the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There was a group called, I forget the name of it, but there was one time a group of people with, like, Bendis and Mark Miller and whatever. Oh, Jesus. And they were consultants, right? Now, this got into that Ike Perlmutter, Kevin Feige thing, and he shut that shit off. So that no longer exists as a thing. But I got to tell you, the creative committee, thank you. It's actually beyond that. It's even worse than that, because on top of just not having a good relationship with a lot of this talent, Marvel also does not seem to elevate the comic stories in the same way that Gunn is doing. So, like, Gunn, for instance, the Supergirl movie is basically an adaptation of Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow. Like, he's not hiding it. He's not trying to play, like, hide the plot. I would assume that means the royalties are clear as day. It also gave a massive boost to the sales of that comic. James brought the writers of DC to the set of Superman. We've speculated about why Disney is not doing this. Could it be a Feige thing? I'm not sure. It's probably more than likely a Disney thing, because they are worried about royalties, payments, things that go on in the future. I would not be surprised if there were people at Marvel that were literally telling people, do not do the comic version of this, do not read the comic version of this story. And in fact, we don't even have to guess. We know that happened at least a little bit. Bo DeMeo has talked about this. There was a producer that straight up told him and other people on X-Men 97, do not look at the comic stream or the comic books. I think we heard on Secret Invasion too. Didn't Nate Moore say some shit about that, right? Didn't Nate Moore say some shit where he was like, we don't want hardcore comic fans, you know, doing this because they're going to want to do the comic thing? So this is actually something that is potentially standing in the way of Marvel just doing the obvious move and adapting great comic stories. And I'm telling you right now, all signs point to James Gunn doing it differently. Now, the other thing that's crazy is DC actually has a thriving talent pool of comic book writers right now. And part of why is because they're paying better. They're attracting more talent. Marvel's pissing some people off. DC has a thriving comic book division right now. Like this shit is crazy, okay? Here's another thing. And I have to give Gunn credit here. Quality control. Now, this is kind of like the jury's out here. I think Superman is good. It could be better for sure. But it's pretty fucking good, dude. And, you know, we hear a lot about Gunn. You know, he's saying like, oh, the script's not ready here, this, that, second, and the third. Until they put out some bullshit, you got to say, like, that's probably working. Whatever the system is, whatever that Rubicon is, whatever the metrics are for a good script, so far, it seems good. If they actually keep a quality control on this thing, that's going to be absolutely amazing. So, I kind of can't believe it, man. But Gunn might actually have some attributes and a philosophy here that could actually save the comic book movie space. I can't believe it. And competition is good. And perhaps what we will see here is DC make some headway and Marvel have to adjust. You know, maybe they have to do better with their comic people. Maybe they need to bring in new visionaries. You know, maybe they're going to bring sexy back themselves, which I think they will. I think Marvel Rivals unironically showed Kevin that people like tits and ass and, you know what I mean? Like, so I think we're going to get there, but I think Gunn will actually do some things and it makes some changes here that the industry in this genre badly needs, man. That's the take. And I can't believe it. Trev says Gunn was going to be in charge of Cosmic Marvel. How much did he have a say in the Thanos story progression? The first cameo of Thanos was A1 Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. There's a lot of debate about that, actually. Some people think that Gunn was a major part of the success over there. But then Gunn will say weird stuff where he's like, I came up with that shit about the Infinity Stones like 5 minutes. And you're like, okay, well, you're obviously not working all that hard on it. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. Hickman needs an executive seat at the MCU. I mean, I guarantee you he would cook. He would create some incredible stuff. Yeah. If Hickman, like, so right now, like, Tom King has, like, a seat at the table for the brain trust of DC, Marvel should absolutely put Hickman in Parliament. Absolutely. I don't know why they haven't yet, to be honest, but, yeah. Gunn's biggest problem is his attitude. If he was more chill, I'd like him more. Oh, I absolutely agree with you, and I think he can actually improve that. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's actually a skill. And here's the thing, too. I don't love everything that Gunn says. There's a lot of stuff that I think he should get off social media mostly. I think some of the answers he gives in the press are really weird. But when he was asked that question about MAGA, he handled it perfectly. So he's not, like, so daft that he can't handle a moment. I just think, like, yeah, just play to your strengths. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy, but the guy that gets fired for tweets should probably not be on Twitter as much, period. Like, that's it. Like, it should be as simple as that. Like, somebody should just be like, hey, do you remember how, like, the whole trajectory of your life changed and you almost, like, couldn't work in this town at all and, like, it was really fucking bad because of this app? What if, like, you know, because there's a lot more at stake now, what if, like, you just stayed off the app just a little bit? Because that same app, do you see what I'm saying? Like, and how is that a problem? Like, why would that be an issue? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. How does Superman movie selling 20 million fewer tickets than a film it's rebooting a success? I think that's a fair question. The reality is the industry has changed. It's the beginning. It's the start of something. And I think context really matters. I mean, look, at the end of the day, and by the way, I got a fucking bone to pick with you Snyder Bros, okay? Because, like, all 12 of you with your 37 million different accounts, and you come in and you say all this shit here and you say all this shit on social media, none of y'all went out to support Fantastic Four. You did the same thing you did with all Zach shit. You talked a big game on social media, and then it came time to show up, to actually show up and buy the tickets. Y'all were nowhere. So I got a fucking bone to pick with you, Snyder Bros. And go ahead, clip it out, spread it out on social media so that your 37 bot accounts can retweet it and like it and have a good old fucking time because y'all don't exist, dude. Y'all don't exist. Where are y'all at? Show me the film you supported. What did you support? What did you support? Show me the movie you supported. You didn't support Black Adam after they brought him back. You didn't support any of these fucking movies. And you damn sure didn't show up for Fantastic Four. You don't exist. Holy shit. It's literally like a couple hundred chronically online motherfuckers. That's what it is. And until you guys start, like, hacking crypto accounts and adding to actual box office, you're completely irrelevant. Fuck out of here. I'm pissed at y'all. I'm straight up pissed. I'm going to lose $500 because of you. Why would people support F4? Pedro hates us. Oh, it's a great point. Excellent point. Incredible point. Couldn't have said it better myself. Just for inflation. Oh my God. Okay, anyway. Should we talk about Spider-Man? Can we now shift into Spider-Man talk? Are we like, did we get it out of our system? Have we had enough It's So Over? And can we finally get into We're So Back? Is that okay? Let's talk about the Spooderman. The Spooderman here. So over the weekend, Spider-Man Brand New Day began filming. I think it actually took yesterday off, but it filmed a lot over the weekend and a ton of leaked set photos and just a bunch of fun stuff out there with the reveal of the suit. Some mixed feelings about the suit, etc., etc. So we're going to get into it. We'll break it all down. Now, first question, I guess, is what do you guys think? Do you like the suit? Do you not like the suit? I've seen some people bring up the fact that it's a little unflattering. You know, some people talking about like it's a little low on the waist. I should try to find some other images of it. Some people just saying like it's not all that flattering. And the truth is, it's not that the suit is unflattering. It's that Tom Holland has become a flabby, elitist, soft as fuck, middle-aged man. So, you know, not trying to be rude here, but that's what it is. It's not the suit. It's Tom Holland. But, you know, I think with that being said, I think the suit's actually not as bad as people are saying. And I think it's going to look good in action. Now, there's also this whole big debate about whether or not there are two suits, okay? So this discourse has been fascinating. Have you guys heard this yet? So in the trailer that was released from Sony, okay, and that's the one on the right here, it does appear to be different because there is an extra webbing here that goes through here. Now, when I first saw this discourse just popping off, man, I was like, there's no way, right? There's no way that it's going to be multiple suits. But technically speaking, there could be multiple suits, okay? Alex Perez has chimed in and said that he believes the reason this is happening is because as the suit takes battle damage throughout the film, he will be upgrading it, okay? So that could be what's going on there. I also think that there could be a difference of what suit they use for maybe some action sequences as opposed to what suit they might use for other, maybe, talking scenes or whatever, right? I'm not really sure. But regardless, I think mostly this just is what you're looking at. I think this is the same material. I love the way that the light catches this material here. I love the look of the suit. I love the spider symbol. I love the shot from behind. Did you guys see that thing where he was picking his wedgie? Why did everybody post that photo? It went viral where there's a behind the back shot of Tom Holland where he's picking his wedgie. Pretty funny. But either way, the suit looks good. So that's kind of like the first thing, right? As this broke. And also, too, I made this joke. I think there was only one person that could end this debate on if there are actually two suits. No word on if Campy has actually chimed in on this yet or not. You guys let me know. But yeah, so that, Spider-Man shooting right now. Now, a couple of different things we got to talk about. Over the weekend, the trades broke that the film's plot will revolve around Spidey, Punisher, and Hulk all fighting against each other before realizing who the real villain is. Okay? So, this is kind of crazy. Some of the scoopers, so I just want to keep this all, I want you to all keep track of this, okay? The Hollywood trade is saying they're all going to fight against each other until the actual villain is revealed. The scoopers are saying it's actually Punisher trying to stop Hulk, and then Peter's going to try to stop Punisher. That's what some of the scoopers are saying, okay? Now, how could this all work together? Let's talk about Hulk first, okay? I want to break this down like a fraction, okay? So let's talk about Hulk. Right now, Hulk is a cardigan-wearing soy boy bitch. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's happy with the current state of the Hulk. We're over it, okay? Now, we've been hearing for years that Savage Hulk is going to return, okay? Some people were saying what was happening in Brave New World and then into Thunderbolts was all going to play into that. Like, basically, Bruce, if you recall in She-Hulk, which I'm sure you do not, but in She-Hulk, Bruce was very concerned about his blood or Jennifer's blood getting out there. And if you recall, a big part of the plot there was they were using Jennifer's blood or trying to get Jennifer's blood to create more Hulks. That's where you get the Todd Hulk at the end. I don't know if this is ringing a bell. Don't worry about it. The point is this. Some people had speculated that the blood of Hulk getting out there would be enough to cause Hulk to rage out. Now, could that tie into the plot of this film? Sure, but doesn't really seem like a good thread. I'm not really sure how that could work. Now, we're going to talk about Punisher in a second, and Punisher technically, he has a special, and he's in Daredevil. Then he's in this movie, so there could be something there. But let's just table that for now. When we speak to Hulk, we think Marvel wants Savage Hulk back. We've heard a lot of rumors that he's coming back. Seems like he's coming back in this movie. So then the question is, how? Okay? Now, some people have speculated this will be Mr. Negative. Now, you'll recall, guys, there was a big old tank that is out there. This is for this big action sequence that they are officially filming for Spider-Man. And the image on this tank, I'll pull it up for you right now. This image right here seems to correspond to the insignia of the inner demons who were created by Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative, by the way, was introduced in the brand New Day comic book run, which I totally knew on my own and definitely did not steal from anybody in chat. So that's kind of cool too. So people think it could be Mr. Negative. Chat, what do you think? Mr. Negative, yes or no? Mr. Negative, yes or no? I got to be honest with you. I'm actually not sure that he's in the film. I know this symbol indicated. I know there's a lot of indicates it. I know there's a lot of potential for him to be in there. I don't actually think that he is. There's some new evidence suggesting that that's not actually what they're doing. Okay. But that is, of course, one explanation for it. Now, how else could Savage Hulk show up? Well, there's other characters that could make this work, right? So there's the Purple Man. There's the leader. And if you think about the leader, right, he was trying to cause the president to become Hulk. He could obviously be doing some 6D chesting to try to get Banner to freak out. That could absolutely be it, okay? It could even be Doctor Doom. Now, this one's pretty crazy. But technically speaking, when this film registered itself, which I think was either early this year or late last year, in the official description through Production Weekly, I believe, there's actually mention of Doctor Doom. RDJ's Doctor Doom was mentioned to be in this film, and a lot of the other scoopers, like My Time to Shine, had originally said that Doctor Doom was in the Spider-Man movie. Now, Marvel's obviously changing a lot, so we're not really sure, okay? But there's a new rumor out there as to how Hulk could be becoming Savage. It is cool as shit, and I'm going to show you what it could be right now. And it is the possibility of Venom Hulk, okay? Now, Charles Murphy teased this out late last night, okay? Just this image right here. However, it's not just this that is making me think this could be happening, okay? So, just a couple of days ago, late last week, remember when all the scoopers were all basically like, oh shit, oh, Spider-Man 4, I can't believe what I just heard about Spider-Man 4. Do you remember this? They were all saying that. They were all having a similar reaction, okay? Now, Daniel keeps saying, there's a lot of other cameos, a lot of other crazy villains in this film. Okay? And remember, Sony badly wanted Venom and Noel to be in this movie. Still not sure that that's going to be the case. And it looked like for a while that Venom was probably on the way out. Right? However, this could be really interesting, okay? What if it's the Venom symbiote that actually allows Hulk and Banner to separate, and it's what causes Hulk to become a Savage? Now, look, I probably don't have to tell you this, but that is fucking crazy town, dude. Are you kidding me? And here's the thing. I kept thinking to myself, like, okay, look, Hulk in the Spider-Man film is cool. Like, it sounds really cool. That's really fun. Like, you're cooking with gas. That's awesome. But we've seen Hulk. Hulk fought against the Avengers multiple times. I mean, Loki turns the Hulk. Like, Hulk turns often, okay? I don't know how interesting and novel it is to actually have Hulk fighting Spider-Man in this film. On top of that, a lot of us were trying to wrap our head around how Hulk could actually connect to Spider-Man. Now, it's not like they're so different that they could not have interactions, but if the Venom symbiote's involved and Venom Hulk is trying to kill Spider-Man, all of a sudden, this all makes a lot more sense, okay? You know what else it explains? It also potentially explains the web shooters. So right now, everybody's talking about how Tom Holland Spider-Man in the new suit has these gigantic web shooters. They're real big. What are they so big for? You know? Well, what if they have some kind of a weapon or some kind of like electricity or gamma thing or whatever? What if that's why they are so very big? Now, at this point in time, at this moment, we are not sure if this is the thing. However, I would not be surprised if we find out very soon that this is what it is. But let's now talk about Punisher, okay? Now, Punisher. How the hell is Frank Castle going to be able to fight against the Hulk, especially if it's a venomized Hulk? Are you kidding me? That's some crazy power, man. On top of that, how's he supposed to stand up to Spider-Man? Well, it keeps saying, or rather the scoopers keep saying, that Frank is going to be ready. That's all they keep saying. Now, the way I think of it is this. There's only two ways this could go. Number one, if Punisher gets the War Machine armor, and if he gets the War Machine armor, oh my fucking God. Like, look out, dude. That would be incredible. There's also, like, sonic weapons there, so Frank could, like, you know, adjust them and make them good. And, dude, if we get War Machine Punisher, Venomized Hulk, and then Spider-Man, guys, oh my fucking God. That's what I've been talking about. When I said quality alone will not get you here, it's shit like this that'll get us there. It is literally shit like this that will get us there, okay? However, throw something else at you. You know what else would be really cool? Another symbiote. Another one, right? Because, like, you've got Venom. And that happened via Spider-Man, Venom movie, all that sort of stuff, okay? Venom could make Carnage. There could be anti-Venom. There could be other symbiotes. Dude, what if the Punisher becomes symbiotic as well? Carnage Punisher, Venom Hulk, and then Spider-Man. That sounds like $1 billion, baby! Let's go! Let's fucking go! So, I mean, look. I don't know, guys. But it kind of seems like they might be cooking, dude. They might be cooking. And if this is really what they're doing, then they're basically doing exactly what I think they need to be doing. I'm not even kidding. That's the way all the movies need to be. They need to cook like this every single time and just do one a year. Just do one a year and cook like this. You can do two maybe and you're fine. Dude, this could be fucking cool, dude. Like, I'm quite excited for this. But those are some updates, and that's kind of some crazy stuff that's out there. I don't know. What do you think? You think I'm fanboy dreaming? You think there ain't no way? What do you think? Remember when you said Noel was going to be in this? Well, I mean, yes, but that's because Alex Perez was reporting that. And just as much as, or just as few as a couple of months ago, Alex said he still felt like Noel was the villain. And technically, Noel could be the villain. Sony scrapped their Noel plans, though. So I don't know. I get the feeling you are overhyping yourself. Chat. Throw one into the chat if you think I'm overhyping myself. Am I overhyping myself right now? Throw one into the chat. Couple of ones in there. Oh, that's a little unfortunate, I guess, huh? Hang on. Just checking to see if this is about Leia. Give me 1 second there. Okay, I think we're okay. Was Dakota Johnson really spotted on set for this? I have not seen her. No. Let's see here. Kalen says Mando will appear as Scorpion and then get the symbiote. Seems more likely. Spider-Man, Hulk, War Machine, Punisher versus symbiote Scorpion. Maybe it's the Venom symbiote going from villain to villain. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Palumi, appreciate the 10 spot, brother. Says, do you think Kevin Feige and Gunn would have a conversation about comic book movie genre and how they would move forward, even though they are rivals? Yes, I do think that's possible, and that's nice. It's nice that that is a possibility. Love your content, bro. Keep on grinding. MCU will be back. I think Marvel will be back. It's just, it's going to be determined how far back. What do they settle it back into? Can they go on another $1 billion, string of movies? We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Should be negative / Steven Yeun. Yeah, so I think we're going to find out soon. But again, I'm hearing some things that are making me believe Mr. Negative is not in this movie. So I'm not sure, but I'm starting to believe Mr. Negative is not in this movie, which is tough. But we'll see. I mean, look, I think they're changing a lot. They're trying to keep some secrets, so we'll see. Yo, guys, I'll be right back. I gotta go pee. And while I am away, you guys decide who has the best suit. This is Tom's new suit. Who has the best Spider-Man? I mean, it looks like Tom to me. Who has the best Spider-Man suit? I'll be right back. Ah. Suit kind of look like a mix. It does kind of, yeah. Yeah, you see how it's like a little bit low? People are saying it's a little low on his hips there. And that is similar to Andrew's. Toby's was raised up pretty high there. Yeah. I love the colors though, bro. The way those pop, like, let's go. That looks great. Yeah, looks good. Looks good, baby. Looks good. Tom got the biggest bulge? Jesus. Jesus. 99% of normies don't even care about Marvel anymore at all. Don't know anything about the brand. Younger demos who didn't grow up with the Infinity Saga are even less tapped in. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think that's fair. There is some evidence to suggest though that it's not that they don't care. It's that they don't care inherently about Marvel. There has to be something else. So Guardians of the Galaxy is like seeing how that story ended. And as soon as there was like the all clear that the quality was good, I mean, it almost gets to $1 billion. Deadpool and Wolverine, it's not so much Marvel. It's like, Hugh Jackman, and Ryan Reynolds and all that. But I think there's enough to suggest that that audience just lies in wait. And they're going to be more particular about what they actually go into the theater to support. Does that make sense? But yeah. Look at Tom here. That's not bringing back the sexy Josh. I don't know. The other dude couldn't stop looking at his bulge. So maybe. Spider-Man mascot, Marvel Batman mascot, DC. Yeah, that's fair. Do you think we will ever get a King in Black movie? Probably not, brother. Probably not. Hey, Josh, I watched the Secret Level episode yesterday, and the Warhammer episode blew my mind. It was like Dune, but 100 times the sci-fi fantasy. I will watch your lore video. It helped clear things up. Thanks. Hey, no problem. Tomorrow I'm going to do a whole stream about why Warhammer is the next MCU, and it's taken over, and it's the next big thing and shit. So come on by tomorrow. Come on by tomorrow. I'm excited. Warhammer! Nothing wrong with a good bulge? Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. I can't argue with that. Hell yeah. I think now that there's good, consistent quality and good word of mouth, it may help Marvel in the box office in the future. I mean, I think that's probably true. The question is like, is that the problem? Is that the thing they need to solve? And I would argue it is not. I would argue it is not. Dang. So apparently they have a stand-in for Bernthal because he's in New York filming, but he's going to head over to... Yeah. Interesting. It is an interesting time right now, man. F4 was great, but it lacked action. I recently saw Doctor Strange. It was about the same length, yet more plot, more action. Yeah, I definitely think they're playing a bit too safe. I definitely think they need more action. I think the Russos are going to fix that. But also I think Destin will fix that, man. This Spider-Man movie is going to cook with that action for sure. When's Bernthal heading over? I'm not really sure, man. I would imagine maybe by the end of this week, maybe next week. Yeah. Demon Slayer is the new gen's Marvel, Jujutsu Kaisen, whatever it's called, Hero Academia. My nephews don't know shit about comics, but they tell me everything about anime and Japanese culture. Yeah, anime has definitely taken over a lot, especially with that younger group. Anime is incredible, and I think anime is doing a lot right. Yeah, for sure. And I love anime. Buffer Overrun says, let's put your theory through the crazy hot matrix and see if we can find a unicorn. Take my money. What? God damn it. I don't know anything that you're saying. You're talking about the ones that the animals that get in here and mess up my shit? The entities that ruin my streams? Is that what you're talking about? Anything on in August? I mean, August has the Alien Earth, which I'm really excited for. Is the Predator movie coming out too, or is that later? I'm excited for Alien Earth. I'm a little bummed that they're shitting on the prequel stuff or not including it, but yeah, whatever. Venom makes Hulk rage out at Mr. Negative, separates Venom Hulk from Banner. Maybe. What if there's no Mr. Negative, though? What if it's just Venom? Yeah, I just don't play 30K. Doctor Hood, I would, but I'm hung up on 40K, man. So I'm not going to get any Saturn on You know? Prometheus sucked. So did Covenant. No! You're wrong. But whatever. Watching on the big screen this Wednesday? Oh, dude, lucky. Lucky. How do you get to do that? I want to do that. How do you get to do that? I want to do that. Strange could separate Hulk from Banner? No, I think so, yeah. Pretty sure. You want to watch Weapons? I mean, I've heard it's cool. I don't really like horror, right? So I'm not going to check it out, but I'm back. Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. I'm glad you're back. We need Morbius? Hell no. When do you think Doom will heel turn? Probably Act 2 or 3. That's lightning in a bottle. That Zeitgeist also let fall under because motherfuckers didn't like the engineers look. Yeah. Fair. Are you worried for Doomsday? So here's the thing. A part of me is a little worried for Doomsday, okay? And in fact, let's record this. This will be the last segment of the day, and then we'll get on out of here, okay? So I just got asked if I'm worried about Avengers Doomsday. And I'll pass the question to you guys. Like, what do you think? Are you worried for Doomsday? Let me know. Here's the thing. Kind of maybe yes a little bit. And part of why is like, so My Time to Shine went on this whole big tirade over the weekend. And, you know, she hit me up about this too. But basically she was saying like, look, the reason Doomsday is kind of fucked is because Thunderbolts, Captain America, and Fantastic Four are not just 3 movies that came out this year. They're the main cast of Doomsday. So, like, Doomsday, for whatever reason, does seem to still be mostly Thunderbolts, Brave New World Avengers, and the Fantastic Four, with Doom fighting against the X-Men, and then they're all going to fight against Doom. So the problem with that is all these movies underperformed. So it's a little crazy that is the crew. You know what I mean? And so in that sense, I am a little bit worried. Because even though, like, I really like those characters, I really like Thunderbolts, I really like Fantastic Four, if the trailers start coming out, and like, here's the thing, we kind of saw, I had this reaction during the chair shit, okay? When they started showing all those chairs, and like, it was like the Thunderbolts people and Anthony Mackie, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm not excited about that. Now, the X-Men actors, that was exciting, you know? But the rest of them, not really. So this could potentially be a problem. And look, if the first trailer for Doomsday is all of those characters, and it feels like, because I think, you know, there's obviously crazy stuff coming with like evil Avengers, you know, probably evil Captain America, you know, maybe even King Thanos, some really crazy shit. But all of that seems to be for Secret Wars. So, like, if the first trailer for Doomsday is the Thunderbolts characters and Fantastic Four characters hanging out, making some jokes, we might be cooked. So that's a little bit of a concern. But here's the thing. I'm hoping... Uh-oh. Can you still hear me? Did the camera die? What just happened? The fuck? Well, I guess there goes this segment. Jeez. Yeah. Well, we'll figure that out. That I heard a little thing. I think the camera disconnected. Yeah, it's frozen. Anyway, point is this. just imagine I'm still talking. Just imagine my mouth is moving there, okay? You can even like squint if you need to. But anyway, point is that a problem? Yes. Is it the end of the world? No. And if they have enough intriguing shit, it'll still be okay. But here's the thing. If Doomsday is truly a small movie with all these other characters, and they're trying to tease all the juice for the next one, that could backfire. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could legitimately backfire. And I don't think they should do that. I think they need to go crazy right off the rip. I think Doomsday needs to be insane. And I think you need Spider-Man. I think you need Wolverine. I think you need Storm, dude. But if they try to piecemeal us on Doomsday, that's going to be devastating. So we'll see what's going on. Anyways, guys, looks like I got to get out of here because the camera said, fuck you anyway. So I appreciate you. I'll figure out what's going on with the camera. We'll get it fixed up for tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. It's been a good one. Tomorrow's a Warhammer stream. I know you're excited. I'm getting the whiteboard out tomorrow. I'm explaining Warhammer. It's all about Warhammer tomorrow. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Leave. Oh man, happy landing there, man. That's a nice little Monday. That's a nice little Monday stream to get us started there. Oh, and I can't wait. A long overdue Warhammer stream tomorrow. Getting the whiteboard out. I'm going to light some incense in here. We're going to get it spiritual, man. Getting it spiritual for the God Emperor of mankind. And I'm going to convert every last one of you. I can't wait. It's been a long time coming. I'm going to give you the hard sell. Any questions you have, I'll answer. Oh, you don't like this about Warhammer? Oh, don't worry. What about this? Oh, you don't like that? Well, don't worry. What about this? I can't fucking wait. Hell yeah. So just get ready, man. You know, by the end of tomorrow's stream, you're going to know what you love about Warhammer. You're going to know what army to get started on. You know, you're going to know what books to start watching and all that sort of stuff. Oh my God, I can't wait. Anyway, going to get out of here. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Do me a favor, though. Actually, do me too. Open up your third eye. And wash out your stinky butt